Over the years, I've taken a look at and reviewed a few mini PCs on my channel, all with varying prices and specs. Now lately, we've been seeing a lot of companies put out small form factor AMD Ryzen computers, and they do seem to have some use for people, especially if the price is right. And today we're taking a look at a new for 2022 Chuwi LarkBox X Mini AMD Ryzen gaming PC. They claim it's a gaming PC. We will find out. So this PC was sent to me for purpose of review, and I wanted to test it out today with a few different PC games to see what it's capable of doing. Now the package comes obviously with the mini PC, which is a fairly small form factor at only 5 inches along the sides and 2 inches high. Then it comes with a little mounting bracket and the power cable, nothing else. Get no HDMI or DisplayPort cables at all. So this PC, it does have several video output options, including one HDMI 2.0 supporting up to 4K 60 Hz and one DisplayPort at 4K 60 Hz. Then you also get one USB-C port that is capable of video out going up to 4K 30 Hz. The USB-C port for video is located on the front of the PC near the power button. Kind of wish this was located in the back with the power and the other video ports, but at least it's there if you want to use it. So it also has dual 2.5 gigabits per second Ethernet ports and has 2.4 5G Wi-Fi and Bluetooth 4.2. It also includes 4 USB 3.0 ports. I've had no issue connecting to my Wi-Fi network, using Bluetooth controllers, any kind of accessories. Everything's working just fine with that. Now, specs-wise, this thing is running Windows 10 Home with 8 gigabytes of installed RAM, and it comes with 256 gigabytes of storage via M2 SSD. It's powered by the AMD Ryzen 7 3700U processor, which has 4 cores, 8 threads at 2.3 gigahertz, up to 4 gigahertz turbo frequency, and it does have the RX Vega 10 integrated graphics. Has a fairly quiet fan built in and cooling system with airflow on the top and on the back of the case. I've had this thing running nonstop for several days playing games and just testing its performance and whatnot. With it literally a foot away from me, I haven't heard anything, like no noticeable fan noise. Under extreme load, I still couldn't hear it. I started to think, is the fan not working? Is it not connected? But when I put the PC right next to my big ass head, I could hear it. So it's just quiet, that's all. That's a good thing. Haven't had any issues with heat, nothing like that. Seems like it's doing its job. Now, as far as the performance goes, the specs that we have here really are going to struggle with a lot of newer games, even at lower graphics settings for, some of the more demanding stuff anyway. Some things may play better than others, but from my experience, the current configuration it ships with just gets maxed out during most of my gameplay sessions on low settings or very low settings, and it just starts to chug along. Your lesser demanding games may play quite a bit better, especially like indie 2D and 3D games. I really think, the PC could have performed a lot better if it included more than just 8 gigabytes of RAM. Now, it is expandable and can be upgraded up to 32 gigabytes via dual-channel DDR4 SODIMM RAM. Unfortunately, I didn't have any extra compatible RAM to test on it, but for sure, I'm pretty sure it could benefit from an upgrade here. This is just kind of like the lowest configuration you could possibly get on a PC like this, and that's what they're shipping. I didn't see any other options. Now, watching like 4K videos and YouTube videos and just general PC tasks, it's fairly snappy. It gets the job done. Didn't really have any issues with multitasking, going between applications and tabs and videos and stuff like that. It seems to perform just fine with that kind of stuff. Now, I did start testing games that I've had some success with on other small form factor PCs, like as an example, Forza Horizon 5. Now, this game at medium graphics settings and above, it's just sluggish and not enjoyable. You cannot play it that way. Now going to low helps a bit, but I really wasn't able to get playable performance without going to very low. And even then, the PC struggles at times with this game. You know, I wasn't able to record when it happened, but I had this game give me the asset streaming error or notification a couple times, and the game started to chug along with many of the graphics assets not loading in properly for quite some time. But beyond that, for the most part, the game was playable on very low, maintaining mostly 30 frames per second, but just not looking great at all. I mean, it's playable. Keep them expectations in check. Moving on to Cyberpunk 2077. I don't even know why I tried this one, but on the lowest settings, it struggles. Has a hard time maintaining even 10 FPS. Not going to be playing this one on this PC. Now, the next game was Maneater. It's a game I really enjoyed, and I haven't played it on PC, but I've played it on, Xbox and Switch and whatnot, and PlayStation. I've played it like everywhere else. But it is a lesser demanding game, and it does perform fairly well on low settings on this PC, getting about an average of 45 frames per second, sometimes getting close to 60, times going to 40, but about an average of 45. Now, the game can suffer some slowdown when assets initially are loading, but it was playable overall. Like, this was probably the better experience gaming on the system, was with Maneater anyway. Now, Halo Infinite on low settings, it wasn't as playable as I'd have liked. This game seems to do fairly well on a lot of lower end PCs, but here it struggles to maintain anything over 20 FPS. Now, all these games, really put a lot of pressure on the processor, RAM, and GPU, so things can and will struggle. Got to have them expectations in check, I suppose. I mean, it's really hard to call this thing a gaming PC, in my opinion. I mean, sure, it can game, just not much in the way of the newer stuff, I guess. I mean, more demanding, kind of mid-demanding stuff. I don't know how to explain it, but you know the drill. Now, another game that I keep seeing people ask me to test on these types of mini PCs is Gears 5. And this one was interesting. At times, it performed fairly well, staying at over 30 FPS, sometimes around 45 on low settings anyway. But when the PC was really like under load, under pressure, I thought the game was going to cause the system to blow up. I mean, no fan noise, no extreme heat, no sounds or anything from the actual physical PC itself that gave me that indication. It's just, looking at the percentages and everything, the system would max out, essentially freeze for a moment. The audio would glitch with high-pitched beeps. Not an enjoyable experience, especially while wearing headphones testing this game. Holy crap. That was a pain. Now, I like testing these types of PCs as far as how well they can be used for gaming. While there's a limit to what they can do, any PC really, I mean, it's important to understand what you would be getting yourself into. Have those expectations in check. Sure, it can game, but what types of games are you hoping to play on it? This may be of some interest to people, as it does have a small form factor, and the processor and GPU could work for older games or just lesser demanding games, really non-3D games, or if you're going to play games that are 3D games, like, kind of have to be a bit older, just lesser demanding stuff. Now, if it has piqued your interest at all, you could check out the listing on Amazon. That's where they're selling this thing, with the link in the description and the pinned comment down below. Just wanted to share my experiences with you and showcase all that. I mean, you be the judge. For me, I've used better, and this one might have some use for some people, but for me, not really. But thank you guys. Catch you on the next one. Bye.